Hello and welcome to Machine Translation Post-Editing Fundamentals. In this quick guide, you will learn the common terminology, what Mtpe is, what your role as a post-editor will be, how to post-edit correctly, how you can be productive, and we will take a look at the pitfalls of Mtpe. So let's start right in with the common terminology. PE stands for post-editing, RE stands for revision. Every project has a project manager, the PM. We work with translation memories, TMs. We will be also working with machine translation, the MT. WOL stands for Words Online, which is the tool you will be using. You will come across tags, which are special elements with many uses, and placeholders, which are elements used for variables. You will see double blanks. These are two consecutive spaces, leading mismatches. These are spaces before the first element, and trailing stops, which are spaces after the last element. You will be provided with a style guide. These are instructions for a given task. And at your side will be the CM, your community manager, and the RM, the regional manager. Here you can see a couple of examples for tags and placeholders. Please make sure to look out for them as these are really important for the format of your text. So what exactly is Mtpe? Mtpe stands for Machine Translation Post-Editing and is a two-step translation process used to provide a fast turnaround time and also consistency and quality. It consists of two steps, the machine part and the human part. The machine part is when the source is run through a machine translation service, translating it to the target language. And the human part that follows it fixes any mistranslations, formatting errors, and adapts to the required quality level. You will be doing the second part, the human part of the process. If you are new to post-editing, you might notice that it is different from human translation. It is meant to be faster and more productive, but also to deliver the same results of a human translation. Let's look at how you can post-edit correctly. There are 4 steps, and we will show you a couple examples. When you open any Mtpe task, you will already have the target filled in for you with a pre-translation, so try leveraging the most of it. Don't change words and/or rewrite similar sentences and phrases just because of personal preferences. Your role is to assure this translation is correctly translated, followed what was requested by the client, and that you don't break any grammar rules, and that the text doesn't have any formatting errors, and so on. Make sure to not add or omit any elements from the source. Respect all the formatting elements, including tags, by understanding where they are and how they should be in the target. In order for you to work well, we have a couple of workflow examples for you, which might help you to post-edit successfully. There are 3 of them, the zigzag workflow, the source target workflow, and the terms text workflow. All workflows begin with reading the HO email instructions, the guideline, and the style guide, along with any task-specific references. After you familiarized yourself with all the support material, you can use one of the following workflows or even a combination of them. Our first workflow is the zigzag workflow. This is when you compare both the source and the target by reading it both at the same time, meaning your eyes will create a zigzag pattern. It helps to check grammar, spelling, formatting, terminology errors, and by splitting the source into several small pieces. Next up is the source target workflow. This is when you read the source first and then proceed to check your target. This helps you understand the overall meaning and also the nuances of the text in front of you. The information enters your brain and creates a foundation, which is the source, and a comparison, which is the target. And our last workflow is the terms text workflow. In this one, you first scan the source for specific terminology, for example, IT terms or engineering terms. You then proceed to check if they were correctly translated according to the glossary in the target. After that, you proceed to implement any fixes you need and check the rest of the text by using any other workflow. This is ideal for technical translations and or when there are several terms you need to be aware of during your translation, such as when our client has a glossary or preferred translation list. The down part is that you can only use this to check terms in an isolated way and you are unable to use only this workflow. After you proceed and fix the target, you should revise and see if there are any typos or misspellings. The secret to a successful post editing is a combination. So make sure to use all those three workflows and put them into your daily work. Let's look at how you can be productive while post editing. Usually, most of the machine translation will be either correct or need little or almost no fixing, providing you a 95% completed work right from the start. To reach your optimal productivity, you need to be aware of the following. You need to spend only the time needed to understand the meaning and check or implement fixes. You must leverage everything you can from the machine translation output. By having most of the target already translated and correct, you can focus on specific details such as grammar, terminology, tone of voice, etc., based on the content and context. The act of revising and fixing is faster than writing it from scratch, so work in a reviser's mindset. This is just like reading a book or an article and noticing it has an error in it. This way, it is way faster than writing the very same book or article again. Optimal time is between 2 seconds and 10 seconds for most of the segments you will be working on. You don't have to abide by this time window, but you can use it as a reference. 2 seconds is the minimum your brain needs to understand something. And 10 seconds is a limit based on the average amount of time spent. So you can use it as a metric to evaluate your own performance. Now that you know how to post edit and how to be productive, let's look at some common pitfalls. Be wary of easy content or content you're used to. When you work on content you're already too familiar with or it's too easy for you, you are most likely to not pay attention enough or end up missing errors that need fixing. Usually you let formatting errors go unnoticed along with grammar and agreement problems. A lack of attention can lead to errors, apart from the ones you might notice. These include cross-reference problems like gender agreement or inconsistency in translation of a given term. Double blanks, leading mismatches, and trailing stops are hard to see, so do pay attention to QA warnings. When you trust your eyes too much, you end up not paying attention to the QA warnings in the editor and let these formatting errors slip by. Always make sure to pay attention to the QA warnings. When you speak English, you can translate something literally. Always keep your audience in mind when working. When you speak English, idioms and slangs can be translated using literal word-by-word translations, and you end up not noticing. This happens because you know what it means. The literal translation is familiar to you as it carries the given meaning. So in conclusion, post-editing is easy. If you use all the tips in this presentation, we are sure you will do a great job. And in case you have any questions, you can always reach out to your community manager and request support. Thank you for your attention and have fun post-editing.